She smiled at him like she hadn't smiled at me in years, and then paid for his meal. It was a small Italian place downtown. The kind with red leather booths and wine bottles lining the shelves like trophies. I wasn't there to eat. I was there because I had a feeling. My name is Daniel. I'm 42. Married to Claire for 12 years. No kids. Not by choice. Life just didn't give us that one. But we had each other, I thought. We had Sunday breakfasts. Her coffee laugh. My record collection. It was enough. Until last month. Claire started coming home late. Not the kind of late that comes with excuses. The kind that comes with silence. She would walk in, hang her coat slowly, and avoid my eyes like they were headlights. Once, I asked her what she ate. She said, just a bite at work. But she smelled like marinara. Her breath carried basil. So I followed her. I hated myself for it. Hated the pettiness. But the unease had teeth. I told my boss I needed a long lunch. Parked across from the restaurant she'd once mentioned in passing. Waited. And there she was. Claire in her gray coat, hair down, laughing at something he said. He couldn't have been older than 20. Sharp jaw. Slouched hoodie. They sat close. She leaned in too much. I didn't take pictures. I just watched. Watched her reach across the table and touch his hand. Watched her pull out her card and pay without a glance. She never pays when we go out. I drove home numb. Every red light dragged. When she came home that evening, I was at the sink, hands in dishwater. I asked nothing. She offered nothing. That night, when she rolled away from me in bed, I stayed staring at the ceiling, wondering who the hell he was. Was he her affair? A lost nephew? Some secret thrill? I didn't know I'd get my answer so soon. Because 2 nights later, I saw him again. Same place. Same booth. Same warmth in her eyes. This time, I took photos. And I waited. The confrontation didn't go how I expected. Nothing exploded. Nothing shattered. No screaming, no cursing. Just the kind of silence that feels like pressure on your chest. I waited until Sunday. She was in the kitchen, barefoot, pouring almond milk into her coffee. I set the printed photos on the counter. She looked at them, blinked once, then kept stirring. His name is Ryan, she said quietly. He's my son. It felt like she'd slapped me. No, worse. Like the air had been sucked out of the room. You're what? I had him when I was 15, she said, still not looking at me. My parents made me give him up. I never told anyone. Not even you. I leaned against the fridge to steady myself. The pictures stared up at me. Her hand on his. The bill she paid. The way he smiled at her like he'd known her forever. And now he's back. Just like that? I asked. My voice cracked. You kept that from me all these years? She finally looked up. Her eyes were raw. I only found him 2 months ago. Through a message. He was looking for me. I didn't plan this. I wanted to yell. To accuse. To demand to know why she snuck around, why she didn't trust me. But her face wasn't defensive. It was scared. I didn't know how to tell you, she whispered. I thought maybe I could just help him quietly. I didn't want to ruin what we have. You already did. She flinched like I'd hit her. But it was the truth. The room felt suddenly too bright. What does he want? I asked. She paused. Then, finally, money. Mostly. And sometimes a place to stay. He says he just needs a little help getting on his feet. And you believe him? Her silence told me everything. I walked out of the kitchen. I didn't slam the door. I just left her there with her untouched coffee and the photos. That night, I didn't sleep. Her phone buzzed twice. I checked it while she showered. Ryan, I need more for the hotel. Can you wire it tonight? Ryan, that guy you live with, does he know about me yet? LOL. I sat on the edge of the bed and stared at the wall. Something about those messages made my skin crawl. Something about that LOL. This wasn't just a reunion. It was a trap. I started watching her phone. Not obsessively. Not at first. But whenever she left it unattended, I glanced. Not because I didn't trust her. Because I didn't trust him. There were patterns. He messaged late. Always needing something. Cash for food. For a motel. For a friend who's in trouble. One time, for a bail bond. The tone changed too. Less grateful. More demanding. Ryan, why do you care what your husband thinks? I'm your real family. Ryan, if you loved me, you'd help. I'm your son for F***K's sake. I read those words in the glow of our bathroom mirror, while she slept 5 feet away. And I felt something bitter take root. Not just jealousy. Not just betrayal. Something else. Fear. One night I asked to meet him. I want to talk to Ryan, I said over dinner. My voice was quiet, careful. Claire set her fork down like it had burned her. That's not a good idea. Why? I'm your husband. If this is your son, he's part of my life now too. Isn't he? She chewed her lip, thinking. He's delicate. I don't want to scare him off. I won't scare him. But I need to see him with my own eyes. She nodded slowly, reluctant. They arranged a coffee shop meeting. Public. Neutral ground. Tuesday, 4 p.m. I left work early and got there 20 minutes ahead, sitting by the window like a detective in an old movie. When Ryan walked in, I knew it was him instantly. Same hoodie. Same lazy posture. But this time, his eyes met mine. He walked up and extended his hand. Daniel, right? I stood, shook it. Ryan. He sat without waiting for Claire. Ordered a latte and a sandwich without looking at the menu. So, he said, guess you know everything now. I know you're Claire's son. Damn right I am. Took her long enough to tell you. I watched him closely. The smirk. The way he scanned the room behind me, like he was bored. Like he didn't care. You staying in town long? I asked. As long as I need to. He took a sip of his drink. Unless she kicks me out. Wouldn't be the first time a parent gave up on me. You staying at a hotel? He grinned. Something like that. I leaned forward slightly. Claire says you need help. What does that look like to you? Rent. Maybe a car. Could use some cash for school. Eventually. Are you working? Trying to get something lined up. I nodded slowly, then sat back. Claire arrived 10 minutes later, breathless and flustered. Ryan lit up when he saw her. Hey, Mom. Got the coffee you like? The way she smiled at him made something twist inside me. A softness I hadn't seen directed at me in years. They chatted for a while. I watched. Took mental notes. Every sentence he spoke was polished. Performed. Like he'd rehearsed the role of lost son. After 20 minutes, I excused myself. Said I had calls to return. Claire barely registered my exit. Her eyes were on him the entire time. I sat in the car outside the coffee shop. Watched him through the window. He hugged her at the end. Kissed her cheek. Then walked off without looking back. Claire stood alone on the sidewalk, watching him go like he carried her heart in his back pocket. I didn't know it yet, but that night, our bank account would be $3,000 lighter. And Ryan would vanish. I checked the account just before bed. I wasn't looking for anything. Just routine. But there it was, plain as breath. $3,000. Gone. Claire, I called. Did you send Ryan money? She came out of the bathroom in her robe, towel drying her hair. What? 3,000. Our joint account. It's gone. Did you give it to him? She looked caught. Like she didn't know whether to lie or fold. He said he needed to get into a rehab program, she whispered. He told me it was urgent. Said he was finally ready. And you believed him? Just like that? She sat on the edge of the bed. Her hands trembled in her lap. He said he was scared. He sounded like a child. He's not a child. He's a grown man who walked out of a coffee shop without you, after milking you for a latte and a pity show. She didn't answer. I slept on the couch that night. Or rather, I didn't sleep at all. The next morning, I checked his number against a reverse lookup tool. It was registered under a prepaid plan out of state. No address. No name. He hadn't just vanished. He planned to vanish. I drove to the hotel he'd been staying at. Asked the clerk if Ryan was still there. Checked out last night, she said. Left around midnight. Did he leave anything behind? She frowned, tapped a few keys, then went to the back. When she returned, she handed me a wrinkled receipt. It was signed with a smiley face and the words, "Thanks, Mom." He was mocking her. Mocking us. That evening, Claire cooked dinner like nothing had happened. Pasta. Garlic bread. Red wine. Her eyes were puffy, but she smiled anyway. Maybe this is what he needed, she said, barely above a whisper. A last push to get clean. Or maybe it's exactly what he wanted. A final score. Daniel, please. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. You let him into our lives without a word. You gave him our money. And you still don't see it. He's playing you. He's my son. I'm your husband. The silence that followed that sentence was the loudest we'd ever shared. That night, I started making copies. Phone records. Bank statements. Hotel receipts. Her messages to him. His demands. The one where he said, if he gives you trouble, remind him he's not blood. That line stuck with me. Like a knife tucked behind every hug. I don't know why I gathered it all. Not yet. But somewhere deep down, I felt it coming. This wasn't over. Ryan would be back. He came back 6 days later. Not a phone call. Not a text. He showed up at our front door. Rain in his hair, hands in his hoodie, like some stray cat. Claire was the one who opened it. I was in the kitchen, halfway through a beer I suddenly forgot how to swallow. Ryan? Oh my God, what happened? I just needed to see you. I messed up, okay. I stepped into the hall. He looked the same. Younger than his damage, older than his bones. But now, something was off. His lip was split. Right eye bruised. Backpack slung low like a weight. Someone did that to you? Claire whispered. He nodded. Ran into the wrong crowd after I left. Shouldn't have gone. I was scared. I used. I'm sorry. It was perfect. The timing. The wounds. The apology. Almost too perfect. Claire pulled him in. Hugged him. I didn't move. He saw me over her shoulder. Smirked. Just barely. Just enough for me to know it wasn't real. We set him up on the couch. Claire brought soup. Ice. Bandages. Mother mode in full bloom. I watched it all like I wasn't even in the house. Maybe, I said later, after Ryan had gone to shower, we should call someone. A real rehab. A shelter. Claire flinched. He just got back. He needs time. He needs help. From professionals. He said he wants to do better this time. He looked me in the eyes, Daniel. Yeah. Did he look at you like this? I held up my phone. Opened the screenshot. The text from 4 days ago. Ryan, if I come back with a bruise and a lie, she'll let me stay. Watch. Claire froze. Blinked. Her mouth opened but no words came. You still think he's trying to get clean? Her face crumbled. For a second, I thought she might fall. He said he was my second chance, she whispered. No. He's your blind spot. And he knows it. Ryan came back into the room, towel drying his hair. He stopped when he saw our faces. Everything cool? I didn't answer. I handed him the phone. Let him read his own words. To his credit, he didn't even pretend to be shocked. Guess I should have deleted that one, he muttered. Claire stood there, trembling. You lied to me. Again. Yeah. Shocking, right? Get out, I said. Where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem anymore. Claire didn't stop him. That was the part that broke me. She just stood there, arms limp, like her strings had been cut. Ryan slammed the door behind him. The silence afterward didn't feel like peace. It felt like the start of something worse. I thought he was gone for good. Turns out, he just moved 2 streets over. I found out from a neighbor, Greg, the retired paramedic who walks his dog at dawn. Said he saw that skinny kid coming out of the old Miller duplex with a pizza box and a girl half-dressed in yesterday. Claire was still pretending the air was safe to breathe. Still cooking dinner for 2. Still sleeping in the bed like we hadn't been gutted. He's not your son anymore, I said one morning. She didn't look up from her tea. Don't say that. He stole from you. Lied to you. Manipulated you. He left bruises on your marriage. I can't erase him, Daniel. I carried him. I gave him life. And now he's draining it from you. She said nothing. That day, I drove by the duplex. Just to be sure. There he was, shirtless, smoking on the porch. Laughing with some girl in pajama shorts and a tank top. Same hoodie thrown over the railing like a badge. He didn't see me. But I saw the car. Claire's car. Parked down the street, tucked behind a van. Windows fogged. That was the moment I stopped wondering. She was still seeing him. Behind my back. Still visiting him. Still funding whatever chaos he wove. I didn't confront her right away. I let it sit. Let it rot in my chest like a slow infection. That night, I stayed late at work. Slept in my office. The next day, I called my lawyer. No divorce yet, I told her. But I want to know what leaving would cost me. She asked the usual questions. Assets. Mortgage. Claire's income. Kids. No kids, I said. Then paused. Not mine, anyway. I started moving my things into boxes 2 days later. Slowly. Carefully. Old records. Family photos. Tools. Claire noticed. You're packing. Preparing. For what? The day I stopped being the other man in my own house. Her eyes welled. I didn't ask for any of this. No. You chose it. You chose him. Over honesty. Over trust. Over us. She reached for my arm. I stepped back. You keep looking for the boy you left behind. But he's not 15 anymore, Claire. He's a grown man who knows exactly how to use your guilt like a crowbar. I walked out before she could answer. And for the first time in weeks, the air felt sharp again. Like maybe I was finally waking up. The call came at 2:14 a.m. Claire answered before I could even register the sound. I sat up in bed and watched her face. Her mouth dropped open. Her hand flew to her chest. "Where?" she whispered. Is he okay?" I was already pulling on pants before she hung up. "Ryan was arrested," she said. "Possession. Stolen property. They're holding him downtown." I stared at her. "You going to bail him out?" She hesitated. "I have to see him." "No," I said. "You want to. That's different." But I drove her anyway. Not for him. For closure. For truth. The station smelled like bleach and fatigue. She spoke to the officer. They gave her 10 minutes. She turned to me. "Are you coming?" "No. I'll watch through the glass." She nodded. Didn't argue. From the other side of the two-way mirror, I saw everything. Ryan looked wrecked. Hollowed out. Like all the lies had finally turned on him. Claire sat across from him, eyes wide, hands shaking. He started crying. And then he leaned forward, whispered something. Claire went pale. She stood. Left the room without a word. Her steps shaky. When she came into the hallway, I was already waiting. What did he say? She didn't speak for a long time. Just leaned against the wall. He said, she began, voice cracking, that this was the plan. From the start. To get close. To bleed me dry. That he and his real mother did it together. My throat closed. His what? She nodded slowly. He was adopted. And she helped him find me. Said I owed her. Owed him. I felt sick. So none of it was real. He's my blood. But he never wanted a mother. He wanted revenge. Claire sank to the bench in the hallway. Tears ran down her face silently, staining her collar. He said I gave him away once. Now he was giving me something back. I sat beside her. You don't owe him anything anymore, I said. He made that choice. She didn't answer. Just looked down at her trembling hands. Do you still love him? Her silence was the answer. And somehow, it hurt more than if she'd said yes. 3 weeks later, she left. No dramatic goodbye. No packed suitcases. Just a folded note on the kitchen table beside the coffee maker I never learned to clean properly. I need to find myself outside of all of this. Please don't follow. No signature. The house was too quiet after that. Not the kind of quiet you settle into. The kind that presses against your ribs. Claire's perfume still lingered on the hallway rug. Her book still on the shelf, untouched, like placeholders for a woman who might come back but wouldn't. I didn't chase her. I didn't even call. Instead, I started writing down everything. Every lie. Every bruise left by silence. Every night I slept with my back to her and my heart clenched like a fist. And I forgave her. Not because she asked. Because I had to. Ryan pled guilty. 2-year sentence, reduced with rehab. The court report said he showed no remorse. Claire sent a letter. No reply. Somewhere in all this, my anger burned out. Grief replaced it. A dull, grinding kind. The kind that doesn't scream, it settles. People at work stopped asking. Friends stopped checking in. Time stretched. And then one day, I came home and her keys were on the counter. No note this time. She came back. Just walked in like the walls hadn't missed her. We didn't speak that first night. She slept in the guest room. I heard her cry through the vent. The next morning, I made 2 coffees. Set one on the table where her note had been. She came into the kitchen slowly, eyes red, unsure. "I won't ask anything," I said. "Not today." She nodded. Saturday. We drank in silence. I don't know what we are now. Not a couple. Not strangers. Just 2 people who went through a storm, and made it out, not whole, but breathing. Sometimes that's enough. Sometimes, survival is the story.